So I was at one of my favorite places in the whole world the other day, the Market Street Mission thrift store, and the men's section was a treasure trove of junk. I found 3 shirts that were pretty much the same color scheme, relatively the same size, and I figured, I've done this before, I could do it again. I'm gonna Frankenstein these things together. So I have these 3 shirts just waiting to get ripped apart and put back together in a different configuration than when they originally came. So enjoy.
So we'll start with the loudest one of the bunch. He's the shortest one also, but has a big personality to compensate. And his best friend is a little more conventional, a little more quiet. Oh, but the trio wouldn't be complete without this big fat potato sack made of linen with ugly buttons. So before we begin, I'd like to make a disclaimer. I am not a designer. I don't know what I'm doing. But, you know, we try new things. Experimentation is the spice of life. So here I'm destroying these shirts. It's kind of cathartic, but it's also kind of stressful because I am trying not to rip the fabric. I'm only trying to rip the seams. It's like if you took a bunch of jigsaw puzzle pieces and you broke all the cardboard stems off, then you wouldn't have jigsaw puzzle pieces, you would just have a bunch of ripped up cardboard. And I'm sure you can make a lot of things with ripped up cardboard, like a weird statue or a collage, or I don't know, you could smash it up and make some more paper, but you cannot make a puzzle. And what we're trying to do here is make a puzzle that makes sense. I've been standing here ripping apart shirts for so long that I grew a set of nails. Generally, it's a wise idea to gauge how much time you think your project is going to take before you even begin it. But since this project is for myself, and I, as a person, have to force my brain into submission when it comes to time management, I decided not to constrain myself with a deadline. Because the value of this project is not in how long it takes, but how far it takes me.
I give a home to all the lost puppies if ever one day I were quit.
I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that, even if you're not homeschooled or if you're not a Christian, because I was enjoying the VeggieTales Esther movie as I laboriously sewed my yoke piece that I chose onto the beige potato sack back piece. Here I'm sewing the the right front onto the yoke. Wow, that took a while. And then here I'm sewing the left front onto the yoke at the shoulder seam. Like I said, I've never done this before, but irony of ironies, I work in a men's dress shirt factory. I should know these things by now. So I'm obviously putting very much effort into sewing the collar onto this shirt, but it's in vain, because at about this moment, I am about to realize that the collar is too short for the neckline of the shirt. So I had to undo my work. And then I tried again, but I didn't adjust the width of the neckline because that seems too easy and too hard at the same time. You know that Thomas Edison quote that's like, I have not failed, I've only found 10,000 ways that don't work? Well, I found one way that didn't work and tried it 10,000 times until I tried something different, and it worked, and I solved my fairly simple problem, so I don't know if this makes me a fool or a genius, but it makes me one of the two. So, what was my genius solution to the first of many fool's errors that I created across the span of this project? Well, I undid my shoulder seams from the neck up to a certain point and changed the angle so that more fabric from the fronts was pushed further into the yoke. Tape measures and rulers are like metronomes. Annoying as they are in exposing your human irregularities and inconsistencies, they're the only foolproof tool which you must use to create an objectively beautiful final product and evaluate it. It's like you can be as creative and innovative as you want, but only within the bounds of the numbers on the ruler. So is the creator actually exercising her full creative power if she's ruled by the ruler?
So this side is absolutely hideous. I have to undo it and redo it again. But as you can see, the sleeve edges actually lined up perfectly with the edges of the front and back of the garment, so I didn't have to do much adjustment there. This one, on the other hand, this sleeve was cut wider, so I had to figure out how to balance the top of the sleeve and get the same amount of excess on the sides. So now I have to trim this, and then I can actually sew the sides together. On top of that, the length from shoulder to cuff on these two sleeves is entirely different, so I have to figure out if I actually want to adjust them or just leave it lopsided. What do you guys think?
So after wasting 20 minutes choosing music, I spent another 20 minutes fighting with the sides of this garment, trying to fit them together. I am doing what's called the trusty old flat felled seam, and this is found on the inseam of your jeans, the sides of your mom's purse. It's the only thing that's holding together the old fake leather moto jacket you found at the thrift store. But basically, the two pieces of fabric interlock so as to leave no raw edges.
Because raw edges are for noobs. I'm putting like 5% effort into this, at least.
So remember that sleeve that had the two sides that weren't lining up with the front and back? Well, I basically just drew a line and cut.
Frankenshirt number 2 turned out quite fine, like the first one. I know what to anticipate, so I moved a lot faster this time. I reduced a little bit here at the shoulders so I could accommodate the collar.
Okay, I promise I finished the 3 shirts, and I promise this video is almost over, but my family went on vacation out west where I saw some big rocks. I befriended a crow, some elk, the cutest cows I've ever seen in my life, and my sunglasses almost died off the edge of a canyon, but my dad saved them with 2 sticks, a mask, and his chewed up gum.
And I can reuse my mask again.
What's your name?
James.
This is so bootleg. For you.